What's up, guys? Welcome to the Crypto Savvy channel. I'm Craig, and we're going to be going over the charts. The markets will probably be open by the time this video is uploaded, but we're still going to take a look at the pre-markets. I'm going to take a look at the areas we need to watch. Are we going to continue this rally that it seems to be happening pre-market, or is this just going to come crashing down? I'm going to show you the areas to watch, what to watch for, and our targets. So let's get into it. Looking at the Dow futures are up 626 points. That would be an open of 30,856 points. S&P is up 83 points. NASDAQ is up 275 points. Now let's take a look at our Dow Jones chart. So this is what we're looking for. We've been watching this falling channel here, and I do think we are still going to come down and at least test the bottom of this channel, right? So if this happens in the next couple days, it's going to be around the 28,100 area, somewhere in there. But right now, our resistance levels are 30,885, which is pretty close to where it's at now. So maybe we get a big spike and then just dump the rest of the day. That is quite possible. But if we break that 30,885, what is the point I would look for a wick at? It would be up to retest the bottom of this rising channel that we fell out of with a target of 27,000 right in that area. And remember, if we break that, then we break through our bottom here. We may bounce around in here for a couple weeks before continuing down. But our target, once we break this 28,000, is around the 22.8, somewhere in that range. We have a much lower target, and then a much lower target, which we're not going to go over right now. But make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We'll keep daily updates on this. Also, scroll down, smash that thumbs up, leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think. Let's take a look at the dollar. So the dollar index, the DXY, this is the main trend line we've been watching here. And I'd said I do expect most likely a retest. If we spread this out, every time we hit this, we get a massive rally, right? So if we come down to this level today or tomorrow, it's going to be somewhere around the 111. So if that happens and we do get a massive bounce there, I think that'll continue the drop for Bitcoin. Now, we don't have to come down to this level, but it is looking most likely that we're going to come test this. If we do, I do expect a massive bounce here. Now, if it drops below that, then we're going to have to look at higher targets, and we'll take a look at all that in the charts in a minute. If you guys are interested in trading, definitely check out Prime XBT. By far my favorite exchange. They don't trade against you. You can trade all markets on it. DXY, or I'm sorry, Forex, gold, silver, oil, S&P, Dow Jones. I have a link down below. Use my link and my promo code SAVVY50. That'll get you up to a $7,000 bonus to add to your margin. SAVVY25 can get you 25% off your fees. You can have multiple trades in, longs and short, everything all together. So let's take a look at what's going on here, right? We're going to concentrate on the daily for a minute. We've been watching this falling wedge. I'm going to take this off here right now. We did break out of it, but it wasn't a massive breakout. But I'm going to move these lines just so we can see what we've been concentrating on. And that's our descending triangle here. So I've been talking about once this breaks, this 18.1 area, our next stop's going to be obviously the old low 17.5. Once that breaks, I do have a target of around 14.5. I think we get at least to that level. We do have lower targets, but those are later on. I know a lot of people think the 4-year cycle and it's, just going to go straight to the moon, go to new all-time highs in 2024, which is possible, but I'm going to show you, stick around, why I don't think that's going to happen. I do think we're going to have a rally in 2024. Into maybe 2025, but I don't think we're going to be seeing all-time highs, and I will explain why. But anyways, let's take a look at, so yesterday we had this target of 19.7. We got up to, where was that at? I had 19.701.46. We hit 19.703. Pretty damn close, $2 off. Not to say we can't go above that. Now, if we do, I have these. So if the stock market continues to rally, I drew a Fibonacci retracement from this high to this low. If we do break that 19.7, our next area for resistance is going to be this 20,469. And then we have the golden pocket range. And I'm just going to, and these aren't exact to the dollar, guys. But if we do break that 19.7 and get support up above that, open and close at least a 4 hour above, then I'd look for the 21 or I'm sorry, 20,450. Now this is the bullish case. I'm still more looking at the bearish case. I still think we have a lot further down to go. Even if we get up to these levels, I think these are just going to be massive rejection levels. But the next level is going to be around 21.1, and then our final level is going to be the 21.8. Now, if we do break this, then we'll probably come up, break this high. But if you look at the RSI, we do have room to come up and test this trend line. So if we do continue up and we get support on this 19.7, our next stop is going to be 19.9, right? Which is our 0.382 fib. And we're going to put that right here, which is right next to our old high back here. So these are the areas to watch. If 19.7 breaks and we open and close a 4 hour above that, I would look for 19.9. If that breaks, then we're at 20,400. But again, I don't think that is going to happen. I think we're going to get a big rejection in the stock market today. It may rally a little bit more when it opens, but like I said, this video will be out by the time it opens. But if you look here on the daily, we have this is the 4 hour. On our 4 hour, we have the 200 EMA right here, and it's getting rejected there right now. We cannot open and close a 4 hour above right now. So as you can see, we opened one and closed one, but we did not open and close the same one. So if we do get an open and close above this 200 EMA, which is around 19,624, if the next candle opens and closes a 4 hour above this, then we start looking for our next targets, 19,925. And then obviously each time one of these levels break, we go to the next. But if we do continue with our rejection here, and this was just a trap, I do believe we come back down to these levels in the next week or so, depending on how fast the stock market crashes. But if you look at this rally right here, it's declining value or declining volume. So chances are we will go down. Let's take a look at the daily. So if we take a look at the daily, let's get all this stuff off here so we can, well, we'll keep those same levels on the daily, okay? So right now we're opening and closing. So far, we're closing this daily. We got 10 hours left, but if we close below this trend line, which is currently right around that 19,650, then I see more continuation to the downside. Let's zoom out a little bit. Look at the RSI. So the RSI may get rejected on this blue trend line. If that happens, then we come down and we would take a measured move of the break. Actually, it'd be a little bit further over of this triangle. And that would get us back down to these super low levels, which would match up with a massive dump. If we do get a spike up in the daily, then these would be the levels we'd be looking for shorts at, right? Which is your Fibonacci retracement from this high to this low. Right now, I'm expecting more downside. Even if we do get a little more rally or whatever up, I still believe more downside. Now look at the bigger picture and show you guys what I'm talking about. So here's the weekly, right? Our target, we still have these targets on the weekly, the 14.5, then the 75 to 8,500, which I think will be a false bottom, but I think there's a good possibility that we don't see this until next year. If we see these levels this year, then we may have bottomed this year. But I still think 75 to 8,500 sometime in February or March of next year. And what it is looking at how a bubble pops. We talked about this since December 2nd. I posted a video and this chart showing that this is how bubbles pop. You get a drop, everyone gets super scared, wish they would have sold up here, and then you get a rally, just like we did here. And then everybody gets super bullish again, right? Just to make a lower low, and then they wish they would have sold up here. Then you get a lower low, and then if we were to get a spike here, guys, like a massive spike, something out of nowhere rally, this is still valid unless we break this 55 EMA on the weekly, which is around 30,500. So if we break that, if we break this at any time and get support up here, then I think that the bear market is over and that we may have a rally up. But let me show you what I think is going to happen is just like over here. Once we break this weekly trend line, we'll come back for a retest to make a lower low. And I believe this is going to be sometime in February or March of next year if this plays out on the same timeline. So far, I've went over and showed you all these peaks, all these lows are in the same timeline as this. They're the exact same time frame chart. exact same pattern. Everything is playing out. The same scenarios. Like over here, there was all kinds of .com scams that had to get washed out. We got a lot of crypto scams that need to get washed out, guys, and this will help it. Now, that is not by any means saying crypto's dead, Bitcoin's going to zero. Not saying that at all. And as a matter of fact, if it plays like this, we'll be extremely bullish in the long term, not in the year or two following. We'll have big bull rallies like you've seen here. This bottom took about a year and a half, played around in this bottom. So if this happens like that, you guys know my target's around 35 to 4,500. I still believe we're still headed to that area, probably sometime in the middle or end of next year. I do believe we'll get a false bounce sometime in around February or March of next year, get a big bounce, get everyone bullish again to come down and make a new lower low. And then that would be the end. There's huge opportunity here, guys. So a lot of people just think you can only make money when markets go up. You can make a ton of money when markets go up. You can make a ton of money when markets go down. The problem is people don't know when to enter and exit. So if this was to play out, you would have a rally for approximately a year and a half or so up, which would match up with the 4-year cycle. Again, 4-year cycle is election cycle. I don't think it has anything to do with any halving, and I don't think it's going to make a new all-time high every halving, right? This could be a huge 4-year cycle. I mean, that's from 3,500 to 38 to 40,000. You know, that's a 10x. You can make a lot of money here in this year and a half. And then to come back down like it did over here, you got about a year and a half to 2 years of downside, maybe down to that 14, 15,000 again. And then another huge rally after that. And this one would end sometime in 2029, 2028, maybe get back up to that 60,000 range before another dump. This is huge opportunity. This is not financial advice. This is not a guarantee. But so far, and I've showed other bubble pops in the past. There's Sony, there's Nintendo. There's actually a bunch of them, but them are some of the ones I've shown. This pattern is how overhyped markets usually play out, guys. And the DXY, you guys know I'm extremely bullish on that over the next year or two. And I think those of you that have been watching the channel understand what I'm talking about. If you don't, go back and watch any of my previous videos. I go over that stuff. But I just want to keep people in the know that, you know, we're not guaranteed a new all-time high every 4 years. And a lot of people get screwed thinking that kind of things in markets, with all the hype and all the, you know, the YouTubers just copying each other. You know, this guy says something that looks good, so this guy copies it. And then you get a bunch of people saying the wrong thing, just like when they were screaming $100,000 Bitcoin was guaranteed. Nothing is guaranteed in any market, guys. But let's look at this big picture, right? Let's zoom in, take a big look at it. So I think we're somewhere in this area right here. And I think we have lower to go. And I just showed you the time frame. This took 10 years to break the all-time high. Bitcoin could be 8 to 10 years, could be longer. Sony and Nintendo never broke it. But in the long run, the very long run, this is extremely bullish, guys. If something does happen and crypto is really adopted and people really get into it, we could definitely see something like this. So, you know, just be careful, guys. I mean, if you want to get some exposure, but I would not go all in unless we start breaking above that 30,500 level. And that would have to be quick because that 55 EMA continues down. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great day. I hope everyone's having a great Tuesday. Have a great week. I will see you in tomorrow's video. Take it easy, guys.